So, let's talk a little bit about you and why, your background, why you decided to run. You've been involved in New York, and you've been involved politically, and you've definitely, it seems to me that like going through this process, as I think this happens to a lot of folks, the process of running as a challenger like radicalizes us, frankly.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Can we talk about the radicalization of Lindsey Boylan?
Yes. Well, it also fits. I fell in love with politics when I moved to Northern Virginia from Southern California. My dad is a Marine, and he got an opportunity in Northern Virginia. We moved. I was as sort of quirky as I am now, but in high school that isn't a good, it's not a great look for some teenage girls. So I found my place going to Capitol Hill and, cutting class and listening to congressional hearings. So super cool. And I fell in love with it. I admired Hillary Clinton, who had just become senator. I ended up going to Wellesley College, where she went. I was a political science major. I worked all 4 years as a student worker in the political science department. I am a lifelong Democrat. Mm-hmm. And many things happened to me in the last 2 years that really made me see how much the Democratic Party is missing of people's pain in this country, and how much is rhetoric and how much is self-preservation as opposed to helping people. And you see that at every level. And as someone who, I started my career in urban planning and managing parks in the city of New York. And then I went into municipal finance because I wanted to understand how you fund infrastructure in government. Someone who worked for the state of New York, who worked for Governor Cuomo.
That he loves
I think all of these experiences, I've never lost hope or the sense that we can change things, but I've certainly lost confidence that the people who are in positions of power are the best ones to do it. Yeah. And I really, after 4 years working for the state, ultimately working for the governor, I was appreciative of that time, but it's not the culture that I wanted to have my life be about. So I learned what I could, did what I could, and I did good work. But when I left, you could see the world from a very different place. Mm-hmm. And I became really inspired, especially by Bernie, and especially by a lot of these progressive women that had really come out and said, this isn't working. This isn't working for anyone. What is our country about? Extreme inequality and climate change are the two great issues of our generation. And we have people who've been in DC doing virtually nothing about either of them. And I was really inspired. And then I kept seeing how the local systems would just perpetuate a bunch of, frankly, older white men keeping the same seats forever, and how every part of the political establishment would just reinforce that. And it pissed me off, because when I was growing up, I thought someday I'll get to be in those rooms where decisions are made, and I'm going to change it so people don't have really bad life outcomes like I'd even seen in my own family or, friends of family. And then I realized, as hard as I worked, and I felt like I was in the rooms that mattered ultimately, there was still a whole nother layer of who really makes decisions and for whom they are made, and how you decide what is important and who is important. And I think we've been going about it the whole wrong way for quite some time in this country, and especially the Democratic Party.
Thank you for watching The Nomiki Show. You can support us on YouTube by clicking subscribe, like, and sharing to get those alerts. And patrons, well, they make this show run on time. So thanks to all of you who have joined our community already. If you like our content and want more, from special segments to interviews and merch, you can join us for as low as $5 a month on patreon.com/The Nomiki Show. I'm spending all of my iced coffee money on other people's shows because I think this is the time that we have to support our independent media.